Well, welcome back to another episode of Studio Nights. We are here today with Lindsey Perez. Welcome, Lindsey.
Thank you.
Just so our listeners know, we met Lindsey as a professor in Global Approaches class, the three of us took this past summer of 2025. She is currently working at Little and is a huge advocate for sustainable design. She's also a mom and has been able to find that balance between work and life, something to be very proud of a little bit. But okay, so to start us off, could you let us know why architecture? Was it always something that you just wanted to do?
So my origin story around architecture really dates back to middle school.
Oh, wow.
I was always really good at math. Don't know if I would say that now, but in middle school, I was really good at math and art. And so my dad was also really good at drafting and drawing things. And I think he always wanted to go into architecture, but he never went to college. And then, so in 7th grade, I had an English teacher tell us, we had an assignment around our career and we had to go shadow someone and write a paper about it. So my mom, because there was no internet at this time, so I'm really old. There was no internet at this time, so she scoured the yellow pages for architecture firms, called every firm in the St. Louis metro area, searching for a female architect that would be willing to meet with a 7th grader and let me shadow her. And so this firm, I cannot remember the name of the firm or the female architects, but to this day, she had an impression on me. But so I wrote a paper about it. Then that just continued with my 8th grade science teacher, who then leveled up to my 9th grade science teacher. Her son was in architecture school. She had him come out and mentor me. And she was my advocate, that my science teacher, her name was Mrs. Kornblum. And she basically told me not to listen to high school counselors who, when I said I wanted to go into architecture, laughed.
Wow, seriously?
They're like, you have to be a serious student to do that. And I was like, okay, define a serious student.
Exactly.
So my science teacher in middle and the English teacher, so all that just propelled me to apply just to prove people wrong. And then I ended up liking it, and then it stuck. So that's kind of how it happened.
How you started.
Although I did try to change majors several times, but where I went to University of Kansas.
Okay.
I'm from the state of Missouri. There was no public school of architecture in Missouri, so I got reciprocity in Kansas, and I wanted to switch majors but stay. And my parents were like, no, can't afford that. So I was like, all right, I'll stick it out. Then I studied abroad and was gone for a little over nearly 2 years. And
where did you study abroad?
Universität Stuttgart. So I had to take all my classes in German.
Wow.
Although they're very nice and spoke a lot of English to me. But they were intended to be in German. I even did a paper in German on the urban planning history of Rome.
Wow.
And long story there, but I played soccer when I was in Germany too, and I had a lot of people from my soccer team edit thoroughly my paper in German because I did not write German very well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you were there for 2 years, and then you came back to
University of Kansas to finish out. It was a 5-year program, so I was finishing out. The way it structured, their years were off, so I kind of basically did a little bit of 2nd year, 3rd year, and a little bit of 4th year. But then, so
that makes
just the way it kind of structured out. But I came back to finish 4th year and 5th year. So it was a 5-year bachelor's.
Okay, that makes sense. And then now you're here in Florida. What was that transition like? Did you always think you were going to come, or?
No, so I used to work at a different firm, and in Kansas City is where I was based out of, and I kind of was the nomad of that firm. I would do little stints in Chicago, Philadelphia, Seattle, and then when they asked me to do the stint, I'm like, I don't know if I can do the stint anymore. Can I just move? And so, there was a mutual desire from the office here to have me move as well. So it also helped that it was wintertime and I don't like black ice, and I broke my ankle on black ice. So
Oh
that
my
was kind of
God.
like the draw. So it was during the recession. So it was 2010 timeframe. So the recession was more on the recovery side here in Florida, but it was just hitting the Midwest at the time. So it was hitting hard. And so it was a little mutual thing. People, if I had moved here, then people in the Kansas City office would be able to maintain a role there.
No.
And then I thought it would be somewhat temporary moving here, see how I like it.
No.
Ended up meeting my husband here. So
Oh, really?
stayed. Rest is history.
Is your husband also in architecture?
No, my husband's a web developer, web designer.
okay.
Cool.
Yes, so
And
design-ish.
Still design-ish.
Yeah.
But he really has a passion more from like a pre-med side and
Really?
medical, which comes out every time a member of our family is sick. I'm like,
He's
okay.
like, I know what to do.
Yes, yes. And then forces all us into like, I had COVID and I had to stay away from everyone else.
Oh my God. The quarantine was
Quarantine,
Yeah,
yeah, that's the word.
quarantine,
Yeah, I was quarantined for like 2 weeks away from everyone. I had
Oh
to talk
my
to my kids through a door,
No.
but no one else got it, so it works.
Okay,
But
yeah.
it's like good
It has
strategy, but it's
pros
very
and
lonely.
cons.
So
That's so interesting. So then what type of typologies did you do up in Kansas, and what do you do?
yeah, so when I
Wow.
started my career, I didn't start in a firm. I started for the federal government.
Oh, okay.
So I worked for the U.S. General Services Administration directly out of school because it was, again, another recession. It was the 9/11 recession. So there was a
Oh.
hiring. It was hard to find a job after graduation. So I went into the U.S. General Services Public Building Service, and I was an assistant project manager on prospectus level projects. So that is where Congress has to approve the budget for these.
Mm.
So, and they're larger projects. So I was working on a historic courthouse renovation, a recladding of a federal building from a project. So I was managing the AE team. So I was the owner at the time.
Oh, you were on the other side.
Yeah, fresh out of school. So
Oh my God.
great experience. Didn't know how great the experience was, but it really did help me. Once I did transition to a firm, I couldn't get all the IDP hours in that model.
Mhm.
So I switched to an architecture firm, took a little bit of a pay cut to make that transition work.
Mhm.
And there I was doing mostly K-12 education projects. So
Oh, okay.
K-12 throughout the country. And then when I moved down to Florida, continued to work on K-12. And then at some point, probably around 2012, that firm started doing higher education work. And I switched my focus to higher education.
Mhm.
And I had done higher education, but through sustainability, I was doing justice civic, sports, just a lot of different typologies by working on sustainability, doing
Oh.
sustainability consulting within the firm.
Which was your favorite?
I love higher education projects still
Seriously.
to this day. In fact, I really would say I love any public-based projects because I really feel like they're pillars of a community and they really help
Yeah.
build a society. But higher ed has like its own little city within a city and community. So you can work on a lot of different types of projects. But I will say I do also enjoy courthouses. Just the idea of like, this is where our justice system is supposed to happen. And like you think about it in one way because it's perceived in one way in the media.
Sure.
And then you work on it behind the scenes and it really has a different meaning to you.
There's like a backstage and then like on stage, off stage.
That too, but you also get to really truly see what they are, how the justice system works in like a criminal courthouse versus appeal courthouse versus a civil courthouse and what their focus is and how they're trying to really deliver service to our our constituents, if you will. You don't hear about it in the way in the media, but like the people that work in them are really truly trying to have an impact, just like in schools and things like that. So when you get to have the opportunity to hear the stories that you're trying to design for and what their mission and vision is, I think, and where you feel like you're helping them have their impact, I think that's the type of project I like.
Yeah. That it's an impact instead of just doing it.
Exactly.
That's so interesting. So we know that you're an advocate for sustainable design in the built environment. At what point did sustainability become like such a central part of architecture in your career?
I think it started at my study abroad in Germany.
Okay.
So it was ingrained into the education system in Germany. Then it continued when I also at the University of Kansas, they have a really big proponent. So I did a design build studio. It was called Studio 804. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. So my final year, we were designing a low income handicap house for a family. So we designed it as students and we built it. Also,
wow.
Like for real?
For real.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
So if you look up Studio 804, you'll see about a 25-year history of design, maybe even longer now, of design builds projects ranging from houses to a museum to houses
And
again.
the students are the ones that
students are designing them, building them,
construction
and
documents.
then people really live in them or occupy them.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I had no
That's
idea.
amazing.
So I was part of the concrete team. I had a little partner and we were trying to figure out a concrete order sitting in front of the step of the house, and the window team above us dropped a window pane.
Oh no.
Luckily, we got up and walked away because my partner had a phone call. And so I was let me go see if I have any phone calls. And luckily, it just fell right on top, right where we were, less than 25 seconds before.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. What are the odds?
So-
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, so I learned how to tie rebar and all that stuff, and how you order concrete and stuff. So each of us had different roles, but dry walled that whole semester. So we were trying to design and build that house, because it was low income handicap house, to be energy efficient as well. So we were learning a lot about building envelope, why is it important to get really good glazing and things like that. So we were really, it was a focus. It continued into my GSA work. Those prospectus level projects were required to achieve LEED Silver.
Oh,
So I learned a lot about the LEED rating system at that time. And then when I went on to my firm that I was at previously, I taught a lot of people how to pass the LEED AP exam. I was one of the first people to work on a LEED project in the Kansas City office, and helped a lot of people achieve that accreditation and stuff like that. So, and then it just continued on.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. So then you, at your firm right now, you take what you learn and you apply it.
Yeah, I try to apply it from a project management point of view versus a consultant type of look, because I feel I've done both roles, and I really felt that some of my best projects that I could look back to and point at, I was ingrained in the decision making from a project management standpoint. I got to help push different levers of a design project and really work closely with all my teammates on things versus coming in and consulting. I've done that as well, being a specialized consultant. I feel like when you're part of the leadership team, or really either the project architect, project manager, really ingrained into the everyday decision making, then that's where you have more impact versus a specialized role. I felt when I had the specialized role, I was bouncing from project to project and going an inch deep, mile wide versus mile deep, inch wide. So it just depends on the person and specialty, I guess.
And then I guess what type of project?
Yeah.
What would you say is not the best, but the easiest type of project to take that sustainability route?
I don't know if I have an answer for that. One that where people are willing to
I
think
are a little bit more open, I guess.
Well, not that. I think the ones where clients don't have a preconceived idea of what this is going to be. They know their program. They understand basic needs, but they're willing to go through a goal setting process with you, or they're allowing you to talk to their stakeholders who are bringing different points of view, not just the facility team. Those are the ones where you have the most, where you get the priorities of all the people involved, and you can really synthesize across the different groups
Okay.
and really remind everyone, okay, when push comes to shove, these are our project drivers. And does this decision support a project driver? If not, is this still a project driver, or B, do we need to make a different decision? And sometimes it might be C, a little bit of like adjusting this driver a little bit and adjusting the decision.
Yeah.
So, but the ones that are really willing to make a vision and a goal at the beginning of the project and then make decisions next to it that's the projects that it's easier to implement it on.
Yeah.
Projects where they're really just looking for a prototype or a quick, those are the ones that are a little harder, not impossible, but harder to really impact. You just have to find the small decision making you get to have with those and impact those decisions.
So how would you say you can, I guess, like not convince a client, but you're saying that the client has to be willing and open, but is there like any, I guess, strategies or?
Let's just say if a client has a bunch of standards for sale, they don't typically have standards where it's like this or like this material or nothing. It's this performance. So then really start to dive deeper into what are the decisions you can make around materiality. Can you make a better choice that impacts human health, like indoor air quality? Can you present a material option within their standards that reduces carbon, or can you help make their building envelope better so it reduces energy consumption? So there's still a lot of decision making you can do even within clients that have pretty rigorous standards. So even a baby step is better than no step.
Exactly. Little by little.
Little by little. Yeah.
So since you've been now like sort of, would you say sustainability is kind of like your specialty at this point in your career?
I wouldn't say it's a driver within the decision making realm I would like to bring to projects, but I also, so project management hat on. I also know that when you're working within a firm, it's a business, and we have to like, in order to, help protect my teammates and having jobs, I need to like run it as effectively and efficiently as possible. Doesn't mean we don't get to have fun along the way or play with design. It's just sometimes we need to be like, okay, now it's time to move on and make a decision and go. Or, we went over on this phase. We really need to buckle down on this phase. So, but I try to like to bring a balance of all those factors, like let's do the right thing. And to me, that's sustainability and resiliency, and code and, fire, following NFPA, making sure we're getting people safely out of buildings and even just paying attention to security measures within buildings. So it's a balancing act to try to find all the ways to do the right thing. Try to do it as cost effective for my client, but also for the firm in which I'm working in, but also making sure it's something I'm proud of to say I was involved in, So, but I would say sustainability and resiliency is embedded in that conversation. And I think that's why I really like it here at Little, because it truly is something that someone on the team is always like, well, how does that measure up to what we're trying to achieve with our framework that we have within our own firm? So
it goes hand in hand.
It goes hand in hand. It also goes back to those goal setting, visioning, project drivers. Trying to get folks to understand that sustainability isn't about giving something up. Sometimes it's about gaining things as well. So reframing things around that.
So throughout your career, have you seen those sort of like sustainable trends kind of change over the years? Is it something that you're seeing more clients kind of be interested in or at least open to?
Yes. Well, so innovation in technology is also allowing things to be a little bit more attainable. I remember when LED lighting, LED lighting was like, nope, too expensive, not attainable. And now it's like everywhere. So I think it's advances in technology and allowing technology to help drive. It's also codes and rating systems have been pushing codes to be adopted. So it's all and then demand, I think, all that coming together and just, and people being educated on things. So it doesn't seem like a big scary thing. I don't know what it was, but I remember during the pandemic, it felt like people had like a bigger interest in sustainability and things. Somehow everyone was interested, and now we're back to no one's interested. It feels like, but it was just like, yeah, everyone's asking about it. There was something about it. I think the public health aspect of the pandemic, people were trying to understand indoor air quality. How do we get people back into buildings? And so that was coming from the lens of sustainability and indoor environmental quality. And it was really exciting. And now people forgot all about it. I'm like, remember that, that word sustainability and how it helped you get people back? Still holds true today.
It always will.
It always will.
I feel that the more time
I think it's
that goes
just
by, the more important that it gets.
I think it's just the word.
Yeah.
For some reason.
It might be a trigger.
It's a trigger for some people.
Or it feels like unreachable for others. Like,
True.
Yeah.
Like so far away. Like,
I don't know why.
yeah.
For some reason, I think resiliency seems like a better word for people, which it's different things, but like resiliency frames things in like risk mitigation. So what's a risk mitigation around all the other topics of sustainability too?
Yeah.
That seems to like jive with people a little bit.
I feel like too, not everybody's like educated even maybe in the basics of like what that means, like what does resilience and sustainability mean. So when they hear it, they kind of just have this assumption of something like something you have to do more to apply to, and maybe for them that just means more money that they don't want to spend.
Or it became a political thing, and people are automatically putting it in one side versus another, and it really just doesn't have to be like that. It can just be, how can it frame your vision and your goals for your own project, and meet your needs and your stakeholder goals. So
that's true.
Okay, so moving on from the sustainability, you'll soon be the new AIA Orlando President in 2026, right?
a couple months.
So tell us, like, what drew you to want to pursue that?
Yeah, so I was serving on the AIA Orlando board already before I ran for that position. I was serving as the state director, so I was the liaison for 2 years from the AIA Orlando board to the AIA Florida. And prior to that, I had served on the state board as a vice president. And I think I just love the idea of service. But I was also in an alternative career. This was when I was working at Amazon and back at GSA and doing some alternative careers between firms. And I wanted to stay connected to the profession. And I just didn't feel like my service was up, my term was up as that state director role. And so I had some folks whisper in my ear, encourage, and I was like, sure, go ahead. Yeah. So I put my name in the hat, and I ran against another really amazing woman here in Orlando who was also on the board at the time. And it was like this head-to-head battle. Like, not that it wasn't vicious or anything. It was just like two great options. And then, so she's now back on the board. She's going to rejoin the board as a director at large in 2026. So I'm excited that she's bring her voice back, and we have some exciting things that we're about to do in AIA,
already cooking.
Especially because our current president, Alex, he's led a very exciting year, and it's like I constantly tell Alex, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to live up to this. But so if you don't know, we're going to, in partnership with Orlando Foundation for Architecture, which is the 501c3 arm in our public-facing aspect of architecture in Orlando, AIA Orlando, and OFA are kind of like sister entities. We are opening a Orlando Center for Architecture and Design, OCAD.
We saw it.
In early 2026, it'll be in downtown Orlando, and we have our industry partners helping us make that a reality through in-kind donations and things like that. So now we'll have a place for everyone to come and talk about architecture and the why it matters, and help our general public understand why it matters and how we have an impact on the communities in which we're serving and things like that. So my goals for the year really are centered around, okay, we finally got a lease
place.
and we're a place. We're about to open it. There was a lot of momentum, excitement. Now we have to create programming that is going to allow us to sustain our ability to be in that space. It costs money to do that.
Yeah.
So how do we make our impact last? So sustaining our impact. So really setting up operational procedures and things like that allow this year-over-year transition of volunteers to make it very successful. Granted, we have staff, but staff can only do so much as well. But we're a volunteer-based organization, and we really have to rely on our members to help. If they want to get something out of the organization, they get what they put in.
Yeah.
So I think it's really revitalizing our membership to be involved and to know that by being involved in AIA, we're lifting each other up and helping one another be successful, and just staying on top of things so that, out of town architects don't come in and take over.
Yeah. I think that's really exciting because I feel like it'll be nice to have a space where all the firms can come and mingle. I can imagine just bringing everybody from 2+2+2 into one space, and us kind of in this space that doesn't belong to you or you or you. It's for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
It's a nice way of putting it. It's a space for everyone. I like that.
I think it's great because you also have that support from the students. There's the AIAs for the student community, and there's Valencia, there's UCF, and all those students are willing to help, be part of any volunteer, to keep it up and keep the community showcase the work, showcase all the firms in town and everything. So it's really
it's definitely part of a leadership pipeline by engaging the students now, college students, keeping you in Orlando to work after you graduate, keeping you involved. Then we have this continuity of a pipeline of future leaders that are going to really help sustain our organization and bring new ideas and stuff. Yeah. So it's definitely trying to make sure all of our members feel like there's a place for them. I'm going to steal that.
Steal it. I'm getting excited.
Place for everyone.
I'm getting excited thinking about we were talking to Chummy James, who's the director at UCF, and he's like, how do I get my students to feel like they can be involved? And I'm thinking of this space as that space where kind of you just come in and you have these opportunities that are open to you. And downtown Orlando, of course, is the perfect place for something like that because it's so central, and we have everything is here. All the architecture is here.
It's going to be great having a storefront and hoping people come off the street and be like, what is this?
Yeah.
So we just need to make sure, we're going to have a little store where you can buy things so that people can engage. Yeah. So
I love merch.
Who doesn't love merchandise?
So getting a little into leadership a little more. For you, what does leadership mean in architecture? I know sometimes I feel in architecture, leadership isn't just project management. Maybe that's the first thing people might think of, but I feel there's so many different types of leadership within the architecture community.
Absolutely agree. This was a really hard question. And the natural thing is to think about leadership within, AIA or a firm or things like that. But I also think leadership happens at all levels. And I think what we can do as best as architects in the profession is leading our clients to making the right choices. I feel like some of our clients have all clients have a set budget.
Yeah.
And all clients have an idea of what they need from a physical space standpoint, right? Sometimes it's hard to help educate them on making the right decisions beyond just the minimum baseline code things. Code is, for lack of better terms, and it's the bare minimum that you can do. It's the baseline thing that you can do to get someone in your space legally. It doesn't mean it's the best approach for you. I mean, I go to stores all over, and I live in Audubon Park, and I see stores at certain times of the year where their windows are condensating constantly because there's so much AC on the inside, like the temperature differential, because they didn't choose the right type of glazing. So now their storefront is like obscured and it just looks not great. Or you go and see like building envelope issues across the city when the temperature difference is happening. And or even when storms hit, building code minimum or trying to get the codes up to like help, but making leadership is about helping clients see the right decision for their long-term investment, not just their first cost things. It's also about helping them make tough choices and less space, right decisions or things like that. But it's also about trying to stick to your values as well, because it's sometimes hard to just, you can put your stamp on something that you may not believe in and get a lot of money, but I think a true leader in architecture isn't going to do that. They're going to really stand by what they want and not put their license on the line to cut corners, I think. I don't know, that, at least to me, that's what it means. I think it's that whole sustainability thing and wanting to do the right thing a lot too. So.
I think that's really powerful though, because I feel like, especially when you're young and like just starting in your career, we all have these values and like these morals where we're like, I know this is not the way that it should be done, or that there's a better way, but sometimes it can be hard to kind of like be the voice to be like, maybe we should think about how we can improve this so that it's doing more beneficial things for, other than just being maybe under budget. Like maybe we put a little more and we're benefiting more than just us. Like things like that,
Yeah.
Yeah. So going a little back in time, we know that you also taught in Seminole State for a handful of years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about how your experience teaching kind of shaped you in your professional career as well?
Yeah. So when I taught at Seminole State, I didn't teach architecture students. I taught construction management students.
Oh, really interesting.
They're a little different. Great, but I feel like all students challenge you in ways that you need to be challenged in your career. I think students remind you I find students ask why a lot, not in a bad way, like why, but like out of curiosity and like, why is it done that way? And to me, that's a good challenge to be like, yeah, why do I do it this way?
You think about it,
Is there a better way, X amount of years later to be doing something? So Seminole State, I don't even know. I can't even recall how that opportunity came up. It came up. I applied. I had no teaching experience prior to that. I think maybe I taught Montessori preschool, but I don't think that counts.
That's interesting though. Yeah.
While in college, I taught at a Montessori preschool for 2 years. Art. In a closet to 4-year-olds. They were the cutest 4-year-olds. And then I was the after school pickup person. But to Seminole State College, I was teaching construction materials and methods too. And it came up as an opportunity because they wanted to get away from like the means and methods of constructability. They were getting that in construction materials and methods 1. They were wanting to expose their students more to the sustainability world. And what does that mean from a materiality, and what is their role in that? And so I got a lot of leeway in taking their requirements of that class and how to infuse sustainability into it. So I was exposing students to, what does it mean when we have a specification for a certain material? And it's not just because things look pretty, which is, excuse me, my voice, which was a misconception a lot of my students had. Like, the architects and interior designers only pick things because it's pretty. I was like, well, let's talk about performance and material. So I was explaining performance criteria and, if they're procuring a material, like what do they need to look for compared to like the basis of design and the why behind materials were selected. So I think just students helped me learn that there's a gap between academia and profession, and you have to bridge that gap, and it's an ongoing gap.
Yeah.
So students are learning new tools in a toolbox that didn't exist for me. So I'm learning from students as much as I'm trying to teach, and then I'm relearning, like, all right, I need to figure out how to explain why we do that or why something is done. So it's helping one another keep up critical thinking, which is harder and harder with automation.
Yeah, very true.
So
I also feel like there's a lot of people that are really good at being a leader and being like a project manager and all those things, but like to teach is
So different.
Another switch of like, not everyone's great, you know, like a teaching is like another type of thing. And because we've talked about it, like between us, like just the idea of teaching and for us it's super intriguing. But yeah, I just found it really interesting how there's so many like types of teaching. How do you teach? And then also like there's people that enjoy more than others, and also you learn from your students, and you learn from like all the different personalities and how to deal with all these attitudes and things they're going through, and like just the more than just like, you know, passing information. But yeah,
it could also be intimidating.
Yeah,
I would think so.
From our standpoint, it can be intimidating because like there's a lot more students than us.
Then the
and
professor.
I always wondered
people coming off the street from a firm to help adjunct teach, but it's also, I mean, there's generational differences, and that's hard to, you know, navigate and overcome. Not overcome, but it's like you have to learn to navigate that a little bit in how you go about explaining things. And so
I always wondered how like a teacher, a professor feels like, you know, whenever we start a class for the first time with a professor we don't know, we're like a little nervous because we're like, we don't know what this is. Like, do you guys
just as intimidating?
Really?
The same thing.
So we both feel the same thing.
Well, let's take our class for example.
Because we had
I
three.
showed up-
different.
For
I
those
showed
who
up
don't
the
know, we had
second
three
day.
professors.
Yeah, we had three professors. I show up the second class, so I was already late. I missed the introductions. And then there's this whole, it's virtual, and then you're like trying to encourage people, can you please turn on your camera? I don't even know what you look like if I saw you on the street, sort of thing. So it's like trying to tell a student, hey, I get a lot of visual cues from you if you have your camera on. I don't have those visual cues on what's landing and what's not landing so it's the same thing with clients. Sometimes clients don't want to turn on their camera. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I don't know how you're reacting.
This technology was invented for a reason.
Do you like it? You don't like it?
Like, all you have to worry about is what you look like
From here up.
From here up. It's not put on that high def. You can even like touch up your.
I just learned that yesterday
what?
when I had to film myself. I had to record myself presenting. So I'm like, okay, let me blur my background, and I'm like, wait, I can do my eyebrows.
You can touch up
on Zoom,
makeup and stuff on Zoom.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
But more importantly, you can touch up lighting. You can make yourself look way better on a camera than in real life. From my experience, so I think it's just as intimidating. But then once you get through classes and you get to know each other, it you know, just like in getting to know a new client, you get to. I think it's easier in person to like have that connection, but I think it's intimate because I did at Seminole State. I taught in person, then I went to hybrid, and then I went to full because I was trying to quit. I went to full remote before, like a year before the pandemic hit, and then when the pandemic hit, they were like, "Can you help our professors that don't do it as often?" So I stayed on. I think I ended up leaving in like 2022.
Recently, honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty recent.
I guess kind of recently.
4 years. But you started in what year?
2012, I think.
Oh wow! So it was a long time.
Yes. I don't know why I would start in 2012 because I just had a baby and I was working full time. So around 2012, 2013, I think is when I started. I would have to look on my resume to remember.
But did you like teaching?
It was good. Like there was moments of like when grades are due, but then I would have between semesters, I would spend time like updating, like that went well, this didn't go well, updating
you're
it
learning too.
because I'm learning
true.
too.
Uh-huh.
And then I would, all right, how can I explain this better? Or then I would have, training also through Seminole State to how to teach better and like just like closed captioning and how to address student needs differently. So I thought it was a great experience. I felt like I was constantly learning every semester. So but I felt like towards the end, I was like, really, I got this down and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I look back at my material for the class we had this summer, and I was like, oh, that's a little outdated material. I would have to redo the whole thing again.
Well, I was wondering because I know you guys were kind of brought on kind of last minute for that class, and that curriculum was already kind of written for you guys. But I know next year you're even more busy than you already are busy. So do you see yourself like teaching again in the future?
Yeah, we told Stephen that we would
do it again.
Do it again. It was fun. You guys were really interactive. I was really impressed with everyone's ability to present. I think that's where. So that was like a weakness of mine always is presenting. So I always admire in students when they seem to have like confidence more than I did at that age. So it's something I usually try to compliment people on. But you guys all did a really good job with presenting. Whether you were nervous or not, it didn't always come off.
We were.
But that is definitely
time.
something you have to constantly work on. And, but like the material, I mean, you guys had so much material to read in 1 week, and then I didn't even see the notes side because I didn't have access to the cameras. But like, and then you have presentations, and then it was discussion and dialogue around it. There was a good, healthy amount of dialogue. I know some people were also balancing. I'm at work at the exact same time that we're in this class, including us. So I thought it was a really great experience for being, last minute into it, but I could definitely see doing it again and trying to find a little bit more balance of like sharing a little bit more. There was times that we were able to do that, and then we just ran out of time. But I thought the dialogue was really interesting and helpful. And then I thought the semester projects were really interesting, the different topics selected and just the different delivery, especially between the three, when we split you all up into 3 groups with 3 different advisors, having 3 different opinions. So that was, I thought it was good. I think to do it with 3 professors again is probably challenging for students as well.
But
I feel like it was very helpful.
I thought it was really helpful.
Yeah, was it 3 different perspectives?
Yes,
I think it was. It was all about like the same topic, sustainability, and we were all very intrigued because we knew that all 3 of you guys had so much background on it. So learning about it, but in distinct perspectives, was super interesting. Honestly,
I feel like too, especially when you're like at the end, you're doing your final project. And for us, it was a final kind of research paper. Like it felt like a mini thesis, honestly. It was nice to be able to know like that one professor didn't have to split between 10 students, and like you guys could engage with us more and we could engage with you more. Therefore we got like more and better feedback. And this class is like, so it's heavy and it's intense, but there's so much information that goes into it. I feel like that's what you need. Like you need to have that time to like really be able to dive deep and like with your professor.
And I know it was a global approaches class because there's a lot. And like a lot of your research was across the globe. But I think what we were trying to do is bring you like, how does it apply to Florida? How does it apply to things that you're going to be addressing on projects in Florida or even in the States and stuff. So
you guys did a really good job.
And the readings were interesting. Like it was sometimes we get readings where I'm like, I cannot, like it's not engaging, but all the reading were actually like very engaging, very interesting. Like I felt like every time we were like asking about like, well, what is this?
Because it was so we didn't pick those out, so I'm glad to hear that. But
I'm sure you guys would have brought
we read them too, and I was like, this is interesting.
I was happy about that because for me, like reading, I struggle sometimes. Especially, but the sustainability, like I think the three of us like have always kind of had an interest in sustainability, but this was the class that I feel like for me, I won't speak for you guys, but for me, it kind of brought me to like that next level of like, in my career, I definitely feel like I want to go into sustainability more and then not have it be just something that kind of just like lingers or something that I kind of think about, but like kind of go deeper into it, literally because of that class. Yeah. And like the introduction, it was, and like the introduction to like resiliency and like what's sustainability versus resiliency, like what does that mean? I feel like that was more I was like it kind of pushed me to like think more about that and like how we can apply those things. And then we just came out of G2, we were doing IBT, or it was a whole the Cody thing, and we were doing sustainability. So then we're thinking of like, okay, in my projects, like what can I think about? And now we're doing it again. So it's like I feel like this class like will resonate with us for a long time.
And you all are working in firms right now. Have you all challenged any of your?
Not yet.
Not yet. I mean, we have.
Well, maybe not challenged, but have you asked, well, why can't we do? Again, I would challenge you to find that one small thing that you can make a difference. It doesn't have to be big leaps, but like maybe it's a material section or.
I feel like I have a greater appreciation for our sustainability group sector that we have in Schenkel, because with that knowledge, I'm like, okay, now I know why you're doing this. And now I know why we need to know this way beforehand to be able to implement it later on in the project. Like it gives me a better understanding for sure.
Okay.
I think for me is I do work in the healthcare department, and they do have like very strict, like the standards and all like the extra code and everything. So I think for me is honestly still a little bit intimidating to bring in, like I feel like I need to be more educated in the healthcare and in sustainability to understand like which are like the things I could flip.
There's probably, I've never worked on a healthcare project, but I'm sure there's probably alignment that maybe people just aren't talking about. I would imagine healthcare projects do not want chemicals of concern in the materiality in the interior environment. Yeah. So there's one commonality right there. So you could, so I don't know if you've heard of mindful materials, but mindful materials, look it up, gives you the common language for like lanes around materiality and sustainability. I'm not going to memorize them, but there's like human health, environmental health, social equity, and circular economy and things like that. So if you look at mindful materials in the common material framework, I think is the name of it, that could give you some good buckets that you could hit around materials that would align with
what they're
with healthcare. At. I mean, I would imagine healthcare is probably a project typology where, especially in the interior environment, which you could probably have impact. Yeah. Energy hogs, I mean, they're probably huge energy hogs that are challenging, but there's definitely conferences around it that you could maybe look into it. But definitely a hard typology, but
but there's
opportunities.
There's ways you can for sure.
I need to get that education for sure. But it's been great. Thank you so much for all this insight you've been giving us. And we really do. I just want to add something about our class. I really was very scared about the 3 professors at the beginning.
You were?
Yeah.
Well, at first we were like 3.
I was like, already 1 gives me anxiety. And then I see 2 more. I'm like, no. But it was it was great at the end because like she's saying like just to get that personalized feedback with you all have your specialties and the kind of like the topics you kind of grasp like the most and everything. So I just felt it was really great. So I do recommend a class with 3 professors.
And I'm sure people listening, split the grading.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it was easier on your side.
Well, we all graded individually and then came back and.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Oh. Well, that's pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah. We had a conversation like, So we had 3 perspectives. So we were mostly aligned on a few. There might have been a few outliers where one of us was really excited about it and the other one was like, what? And so then the third one was like the middle person. So we were able to like, I felt like it allowed also for, perspectives that maybe someone missed and to really like weigh in on like where the strength was and, things like that. Or it also allowed us to fess up. Oh, I gave that direction.
Well, that is true. Yeah.
So that was the direction I gave. So based on the direction I gave, let's reframe how we're grading. And then that was like, it was helpful. So it allowed us to, I felt like it allowed for less bias in like one person's perspective in someone's grade. So
that's good.
That actually makes sense because
it does.
Yeah, I feel like most things, but architecture is super subjective. Like we see it on our students all the time, where like your professor will be like, "No, I really like that," but then you're like, "No, I don't."
The other professor likes it.
Yeah.
Well, just to get a little bit on the next topic, us 3 really do talk a lot, like in our free time, about life in general, and for us, it is a challenge just kind of going through the career. Like we all envision ourselves having families, and all these things just in general. And we do look up to you because you did mention you have a family, you have kids, and we just really want to know, like, what are kind of some of those challenges you face throughout your career, just especially just being like a woman in architecture?
Yeah. So motherhood, I didn't plan it. It just, we weren't planning it, and it just, decided, hey, God was like, you're ready.
Take your time.
Thank you. So for me, compared the way motherhood happened for me compared to some of my long architecture friends where they waited and waited for the right time, I would be in conversations with like other moms and friends that are like, when is the right time to start a family? There's never a right time to start a family. I think you might even think that you have planned it all out perfectly and you still don't have the right time. So I think it goes back to an answer I'll have later, but the journey. I mean, motherhood is a journey. I mean, I don't have any of the right answers. My 13-year-old reminds me of that all the time. And so does my 9-year-old. But for me, I was pretty lucky in this career as a woman. I had really great mentors that advocated for me along the way. I think the only thing I didn't know until later was that I wasn't really getting paid equally compared to my male counterparts. And I think it was because I never really asked to get paid equally. And so there's a book I'll send this to you guys, but there's a book that a friend of mine introduced to me called Ask For It. It's written by a Harvard business former professor, current professor. I should really learn the names of authors. But I give it as a gift to a lot of people, so I'll give it to you guys as well. But it's a book called Ask For It, and it's not just asking for salary or benefits. It's about asking for the space and things that you need. So for me, when I came back from maternity leave when I first had my first child, there was no mother's room. There was no place for me to go and pump for. I was told I could go do it in a bathroom. I'm like, do you like your food prepared in a bathroom? My child also does not like their food prepared in a bathroom. So found like a storage room, and we made different accommodations. And then I became an advocate for others in the office to take over this phone room as like our, we'll get curtains, we'll makeshift it for different mothers. And then now it feels a little more mainstream that offices have mothering rooms or decompression rooms or whatever you want to call it to allow for that space. So I feel like advances in my career, I've always had great mentors, male, female, that helped advocate for me and propelled me. I think I didn't advocate for me a lot of times on the different things I needed. Like I needed flexibility,
True.
I'm always the harshest critic of me. And I want to work long hours to prove myself. And whereas like my kids need me to, take them to sports or whatever. Don't be afraid to ask for the space and the things that you need. Doesn't mean that you're going to get it, and it might be a compromise, but if you work hard and you're willing to put in other hour, the effort or meet the demands of your role, I don't see why not different accommodations can. I watch time and time again my male counterparts ask for the things they need and get it, and but for some reason I just didn't want to advocate for myself. I would advocate for everyone else around me but myself. So I think that's for me the biggest challenge, and I think that's can be said for a lot of females. We advocate for everyone around us. We put everyone else first. We also don't believe that we have the credentials to do that role. I think we just have to be our own advocates. No one's going to do it for us. People will do it for us, but some of the things that are barriers and challenges that lead to burnout, we have to ask for that stuff. So
Be an advocate.
Be your own advocate is probably the biggest advice I can offer.
I think that's a great. I tell my brother actually all the time, like he's the opposite of me. I'm super like outspoken. Well, I become like I speak a lot and everything, and he's like nothing. We don't know what he's thinking. We don't know what he did. We don't know what he wants. So we're like the day and night. And I always tell him, you need to tell, like, if something's bothering you, say it. Like, nobody is gonna judge you. If that's your friend, that's your leader, that's your boss, they're gonna hear you out, they're gonna understand, they're gonna work with you. Some people don't, but yeah, like you're saying, be an advocate for yourself, and at the end of the day, like, be an advocate for others as well. And I think that really also is what makes you a great leader, just overall. And I think that's great. And I really like the story about the mother rooms you were telling. And
I think the only other thing around motherhood, I did have a career change. It was due to a burnout. I burnt out at one place I was at, and then looked to other things. And I think what I learned in that burnout / change and now back into the traditional architecture route is that you only get your family, your kids, especially as they're growing up, once.
True.
And I have worked at a place where I thought my peers were my family and or like family, because you spend so much time with them, you really enjoy them, you care about them. It's amazing when you do leave, like how much you may not be as close as you think you are. So I would prioritize family. And I mean, career is very important, and you want to do impactful work, and you want to have these great connections with your teammates and partners and stuff. But remember, your family is really your only family.
It's really,
beyond just your kids, your partner is also equally important in remembering that. I remember at my old firm, we used to have an IT update every Tuesday night. So we dubbed it date night because I couldn't work. And because there was an IT update, I had to shut down, and I was like, date night Tuesdays.
That's great.
That's so important because like I feel like even right now, like I live with my husband, and I barely see him because he's working all night. I'm going to school and I'm coming home late. All these things, and it's like you have to make the time for your people and for you. You need time for you, away from other people, away from just your me time, and then you also spend time with your family. And for me, like that's always been like I never want to miss the birthdays or the holidays, and hopefully never. But I feel like that kind of grounds you too, and it's like your life isn't just work. Like we're not just here to work or to go to school or to do all these things that we have to do to live, essentially. Like there's more to life than just those things.
I agree. No, I do. I don't have my family here. I came from El Salvador to this country by myself, and then kind of my brother kind of followed me, trying to envision this new world, new life. I'm gonna bring my parents someday. I need to be an architect, and it's been so hard. I think the hardest is just not having my family. Just overall. But I do think there's like a balance, like maybe that one night I don't see my partner because I'm working late, but probably we plan something for Friday or we take a break on Saturday, so yeah, it is hard with the career and everything, but it is not impossible. Like there's always ways. And just really to conclude, we wanted to ask you just what would you say to students just listening to this podcast, right? Or just to everybody, just starting in this career, what would be one piece of advice you would give somebody just starting in architecture?
Yeah. For me, I would say it's about the journey and enjoying the journey. I mean, I feel like as young, I'm not young anymore, but young at heart. But when I was coming out of school and I had like this passion to like change the world or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the
drive.
It's a 20-something thing that and you're like, we have the drive to try to change the world and the energy. And I don't mean to like not, I think we can do that. And that is absolutely needed in every profession, especially this one. We need fresh perspectives and the drive and the passion to change the world. But I think there's also this idea of this race to get to licensure. Licensure is very important. I highly recommend it. Do what you can to do it before you start that family.
Yeah.
But I also think it's not about rising to the top of a ladder. It's about enjoying the journey of what you're learning on each project. Learn how to put the documents together and like really be a good architect, a technical architect. Don't worry about where you're going, but enjoy how you're getting there, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a vacation. Like sometimes everyone's like, let's hurry up and get the travel part over and get there. And then it's like, well, sometimes the travel part could be fun too if you let it. So, well, for me, I like sleeping on planes. So, but just enjoy the journey because sometimes you don't realize what you're like learning and or what experiencing you're having until you're like years later you're looking back and you're trying to and then you're like, man, I wish I would have enjoyed that a little bit more or spent more time on things. But so
that's a great advice. And we try to remind ourselves like every day, like going through school and work and just life. Like sometimes like Alex has a breakdown. We're like, Alex, enjoy the moment, breathe. Sometimes Valerie, enjoy the moment, breathe. Sometimes me, I cry, enjoy the moment.
I would also say sleep. Learn how to sleep and create long-term habits because the older you get, it's harder to break them. And it also impacts your health tremendously. So learn how to sleep. This whole overnight all night thing that's a norm in the architecture education. Do not do that. It's overrated and you really do not have better ideas.
No. At 3 a.m.
At 3 a.m.
No, you don't.
No one has good ideas at 3 a.m.
You would think, but no.
I feel like in undergrad, we did that all the time. It was like, you didn't pull an all-nighter? Like, that's weird.
You're not cool.
I pulled one all-nighter. I could not function the next day, and I was like, never again.
Now, like, when I do that, I don't do it often, I promise, anymore. G2, G2 was really bad, and the semester was kind of bad by year 2. But anyways, I cannot.
Your body just
shuts down. I feel like I'm like floating in the air, like and I'm not even here. Like it's never really worth that sacrifice of like your health.
We talked about this in class, but we talked a little bit about finding your passion thing that allows you to refuel. Like, so for me, I'm not a very good watercolorist, but I dabble in it and it's really just something to do. It also allows my brain to stop thinking about and worrying about all the things that I like to worry about. So I would just find something that allows you to disconnect. For some people, it's reading books. I did learn I like reading now that I finally found time to read books. And it's like, wow, where has this been this last 20 years? Apparently, doing architecture and long hours and stuff. So, but
I feel like I like to like do something that takes no mental power. I don't want to think. So I think I said this in class too, but I like to do paint by numbers because I just have to color inside the lines and I'm not worried about, does this align? Does that, like thinking about architecture again, like design again, like I don't have to design anything. I just 5
Follow
is this
that one
color.
line.
Okay, fill it in. And it's like super relaxing for me. I have to apply nothing.
I love those things.
They're the best.
I tried the adult coloring books and then I realized I was thinking too much about what I wanted to put in whereas the paint by
That's what I'm
numbers
saying.
does it for you.
Then I'm planning, okay, what colors am I going to do here? And like, no.
And then you don't like it.
And then I don't like it. And then I'm
And then
upset.
I'm like, never mind.
Never mind. Well, thank you so much, Lindsey, for your time today. Like, we really appreciate it, and we really look forward for your new journey as a AIA president next year.
Yeah. We're so excited.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thank you for the invitation. I had fun. This was fun chatting with you guys.
We enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
I know.